Let's jump in and begin to look at the nuts and bolts of the approval process. This is the main talk. We talked about the origins of the standard, the origins of the rigor. Well, let's look at the two phases of this process. But we'll begin with, what does approval mean? Approval is that we are complying with a performance-based standard. The standard defines what a product is supposed to do. It defines what, like, how are you going to verify that it's doing what it's supposed to do? So it lists out a set of procedures for testing and evaluating, and it defines, what's the basis for failing or rejecting a product. Approval is meeting a minimum standard. So the current edition, the 10th edition, it lays out a minimum standard. This is the minimum bar that a product has to clear. We're not providing a rating system. We're not going to say 1, 2 star. We're not in the business of judging the merits of a particular design. Many times I'm asked by interested parties, hey, what product's your favorite, or what's the best design out there? And I will typically just stare at them with a blank face, have my best poker face on, and say, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I've not made it a habit of rating manufacturers. I know that it is a tough job for them to juggle and balance the competing requirements of the standard. Some of the requirements, they don't complement each other real well. And so it's a job for the manufacturers to balance, and they do their research, asking doing their marketing to determine what they feel their customers want. And that's what they focus on in developing and updating their products. And so, a product may take a while to get approved for one reason or another. It may take a long time, or it may get approved really fast, but that's really not an indicator of how good or bad the product is. It's just more of an indication of how ready or prepared the manufacturer was to get the job done, to get it approved. The approval process is a program is a two-part process. There's laboratory evaluation as well as the field evaluation. The field evaluation is a uniquely USC feature and does add a considerable amount of time to the overall process. It's obvious if you say you have a 1-year field that it's going to take at least 1 year to get a USC approval. Our lab is a ISO 17025 compliant lab, currently compliant to the most recent standard. What this means is we go through an annual audit that they audit us to see whether we're competent to test to the various standards that we're listed under, and whether or not we maintain a high quality quality system. And so we go through this audit annually. One of the requirements for an ISO 17025 compliant lab is that they have to do the training, all the testing themselves. And so all testing is conducted by trained USC staff at our lab. We do not use any third-party laboratories for our USC evaluation. Manufacturers may witness, but they may not participate in the testing. So they're allowed to be at the lab, they're allowed to observe. A lot of times new manufacturers will come to witness because they want to understand what we're doing, what the tests are. If we have a failure at the lab, sometimes the manufacturer will want to come and witness the failure because it's oftentimes a shock to them. And so they want to come and understand how we're running the test versus how maybe they ran it in their lab, and to hopefully come to some kind of resolution as to how to proceed. Kind of the flow of the process at the lab, and I'm going to break this down a little bit more in the following slides. It can be summarized as so. Manufacturer will initially submit some working drawings and the required samples. We'll review everything, make sure we have what we need. We'll issue a confirmation of receipt. And then when it comes time to run the test, we'll perform the required evaluation and inspections based on the type of assembly. Some of the tests that we evaluate general performance characteristics, while others evaluate specific backflow capabilities. Every assembly has to go through a thermal loop and a cycle test, as I mentioned earlier when talking about the standards development. One of the things we also do at the end of our evaluation is to document the elastomers and spring characteristics. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. And then also have to do a file review to make sure that we have all the required paperwork. So this is kind of a summary of what I'm going to talk about here under the laboratory evaluation.